Well, that's right. The Congress is now accusing the Modi government of propagating and promoting the tobacco lobby. The Congress on Monday accused the government of propagating and promoting the tobacco lobby in India to the common man's peril, and wondered whether former Health Minister Harsh Vardhan was in fact removed from the ministry last year due to his anti-tobacco stand.
In fact, let me quote them here. They say, was Harsh Vardhan's anti-tobacco activism responsible for his removal? Well, this in a party communication by the in-charge Randeep Surjewala. Well, in fact, let's go across to Payal Mehta, who's joining us with more on this. Payal, that is a damning charge that reshuffle happened under the lobbying, under the pressure of the tobacco lobbyist.
Absolutely. The Congress party continues to attack the government and question their intent, whether they were really or genuinely concerned about the health of the country. That's the allegation that the Congress has constantly made. They have... Absolutely. The Congress party continues to attack the government and question their intent, whether they were really or genuinely concerned about the health of the country. That's the allegation that the Congress has constantly made. They have repeatedly said that this particular government has ruled out a lot of things that is in favor of corporates, and of course this time around you're talking about the tobacco lobby. Now the fact that the tobacco, in fact the BD Byron still continues to be in the parliamentary panel, so that is one thing again with the question comes up, whether or not the government's intent is very, very clear. Now launching a scathing attack on the government, Randeep Surjewala, who's a senior party spokesperson, he has said that Dr. Harsh Vardhan, a doctor by profession initially, was given the health ministry, but that was taken away from him within 5 months. And the question then that the Congress party is asking, why was that done? That was probably done because Harsh Vardhan strongly believed that anti-tobacco, he believed that anti-tobacco campaign was a campaign worth running. He genuinely was concerned about the perils of tobacco, and that was very, very evident in his voice, because he was constantly seeing, in fact, advocating for that. So that is something which the government probably did not appreciate. In his statements, Surjewala also mentioned that it was an overnight decision by the party president Amit Shah to, in fact, remove Harsh Vardhan and send him to another ministry, which was not all that significant.
Well, we just heard from a very defensive BJP spokesperson, Payal, just a short while back, GVL Narasimha Rao, calling this allegation by the Congress a mere allegation, that it did not dignify a response. But can we expect a response now officially from the BJP on this issue? Remember, 2 points here. They're targeting the Prime Minister because he's the one who decides at the end of the day who's a minister and who's not. And 2, can we expect a response from Dr. Harsh Vardhan, who's also been maintaining a very curious silence on this issue?
Well, absolutely. Without a doubt, the BJP, from some quarters certainly will be reacting on that, because these are the allegations, that these are damning allegations against the top, you're talking about, they're blaming Amit Shah, they're talking about the Prime Minister's intent. So that goes without a doubt. Now, as far as Harsh Vardhan is concerned, he's someone who's generally kept a very low profile there. He doesn't come out in the open. He's not very, very vocal, not very loud. He's someone who has actively worked and worked a lot. That is the kind of respect that he's gained, because remember, he's been a doctor by profession. Somebody who has worked at the groundwood level. Remember, the last time around that the BJP did get those numbers, it was largely riding on the shoulders of Dr. Harsh Vardhan. So we will try and get a reaction from him, but it is highly unlikely that Harsh Vardhan will really react to these controversies. He's someone who likes to just keep a low profile, but without a doubt the BJP is not going to take it silently, because this is attacking the top leadership, including the Prime Minister as well as the President.
Well, when the Congress made these damning allegations, Payal, did they offer any evidence to back them?
Well, this is not a bite, or this is not a soundbite or anything that Randeep Surjewala has given. We are being told that this is a statement that he has given. So, of course, that is again that's something which needs to be spoken about. But when you're talking about mere reasons for somebody to to be transferred, so there's no real proof because, there's nothing which is in black and white when it comes. It's not like a paper which will tell you why you're being transferred from one ministry to the other. But this is what the observation of the Congress party and the allegations of the Congress party. They maintain that, this was the reason Harsh Vardhan was moved away from the health ministry. Remember, initially, Harsh Vardhan was, in fact, elevated and he was given a health ministry to look after. Soon after that, within 5 months, he was removed from there. So the reasons are never out in the open. We've seen several ministers being, have their portfolios being probably exchanged, some being elevating, some being probably, relegated. So that's something which is entirely the discretion of the government, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and of course his wise men who look into the interest. That's absolutely at the beck and call of the government in concern. And as an opposition, they continue to attack, but there's they are looking at answers from the government. Here, the reference is very, very clear. They're questioning the government's intent as to how they're concerned about.
Well, stay on with us, Payal, because in fact there's more breaking news coming in now on this story.
Well, amidst the controversy over BJP's Lok Sabha MP from Allahabad, Shyamcharan Gupta, Parliamentary Affairs Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that it was expected that conflicts of interest are declared in accordance with the rules.
Well, Gupta, who's a member of this committee on subordinate legislation, had a BD business with an annual turnover of 200 to 250 crores. During the deliberations in the panel on the use of pictorial warnings on tobacco products, Gupta took the position that BDs have nil harmful effects.
Well, in fact, yesterday the committee stepped outside the agenda of its meeting to discuss the pictorial warning. Several members were learned to have expressed concern over Gupta's clear conflict of interest.
Do their work as per the rules and regulations, and they will submit the report to Parliament, and Parliament will take a view. From outside, I do not want to say anything. Anybody who has got a conflict of interest, as per the rule of Parliament, we are supposed to declare the conflict of interest, if any, and then the committee and the Parliament takes care of it.
Okay, so that of course was Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Venkaiah Naidu speaking yesterday. He has of course said that it was expected that conflicts of interest are declared in accordance with rules, but remember that obviously did not apply to their own MP, Mr. Shyamcharan Gupta, who of course had clear conflicts of interest when he was deliberating in this parliamentary panel on the increase of those pictorial warnings on cigarette and BD packs, and of course expectedly took the position that BDs have nil harmful effects.
Well, in fact, let's go across to our executive editor, Karthikeya Sharma, joining us with the very latest on this. Well, Karthikeya, so what really is BJP's stand? Did Gupta or did he not declare that he had a conflict of interest when he was made part of the panel?
My sources tell me that I think he refrained from declaring his affidavit because this was something which was being checked by Speaker's office. And I think this is the reason why Venkaiah Naidu in a very stern message has said that people should declare their conflict of interest. But then ultimately the matter rests with Sumitra Mahajan because this does not come under the domain of Venkaiah Naidu. Venkaiah Naidu as a Minister for Parliamentary Affairs has intervened in the matter,
right.
But the real power to pick, select, distribute, and even to take them off the committees doesn't rest with him. It rests with the office of the Speaker of Lok Sabha, and that is Sumitra Mahajan.
Okay, but of course, Venkaiah Naidu, Karthikeya, in no uncertain terms yesterday said that it was expected that conflicts of interest are declared in accordance with rules. A stern message. Is that a precursor to Shyamcharan Gupta stepping down from this panel, you feel?
I think my sense is slightly different. I think Mr. Naidu is in a damage control mode. You see, that's the point I'm trying to make. Mr. Naidu is not to be blamed for it. Venkaiah Naidu does not distribute these names. Neither he selects them. The Speaker's office does it. I think there has been some sort of error on part of Speaker's office in realizing that this gentleman had a conflict of interest. But you don't sacrifice your Speaker because Speaker has already been under attack from the opposition parties. So I think this is a bit of a damage control exercise because it is not his mistake. You see, one has to understand what Venkaiah Naidu is doing is giving a warning. But the ability to select, put and distribute lies with the Speaker. So yes, a warning has come, which means the executive has taken note of the fact that something has gone wrong during the selection process. And it's a warning both through the MPs and the people involved in selection that they should be very, very careful.
So, Kartikeya, what could happen next? Is there a possibility that the committee is going to be reconstituted? Is there a possibility that one member may be removed? What can we expect to happen in the next couple of days?
Precisely my point. That domain rests with the Speaker of Lok Sabha. I don't think they will allow Speaker of Lok Sabha to go through any embarrassment right before the second half of the budget session. So I think they're going to they are going to ensure that the escalation doesn't happen, and the gentleman who's the eye of the storm continues to remain absent from the proceedings of the committee. There are ways in which this can be dealt with. For example, the chairman of the committee can say that this member no longer will attend the proceeding. So technically he remains in the committee, but practically you take him out of
Kartikeya, has he been part of the committee all along, at least till now?
Can you repeat your question again?
I was asking if Sharan Gupta was part of each and every committee meeting so far, if we have the details of that.
Oh yes, Mr. Gupta was part and parcel of every committee, but I think what will happen is, and I'm pretty sure about it, that Mr. Gupta will be politely told to recuse himself from this committee on the issues of tobacco and tobacco products.
All right, we leave it there then. Kartikeya Sharma, many thanks for joining us with all those details. Let's go across now to Payal Mehta, who's also with us live now for more on this story. Payal, Venkaiah Naidu, of course, coming with that stern message yesterday, as Kartikeya was, of course, saying, taking stern cognizance of what has happened and the lapse that has taken place, who's also with us live now for more on this story. Payal, Venkaiah Naidu, of course, coming with that stern message yesterday, as Kartikeya was, of course, saying, taking stern cognizance of what has happened and the lapse that has taken place, possibly on behalf of the Speaker's office rather than on the behalf of the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, because remember, he is not directly in his domain, the constitution of parliamentary panels and whatnot. But remember, these statements by Venkaiah Naidu, of course, are interesting, given that they come just a few days after this tobacco lobbying story has come out. NewsX has been, of course, reporting on it. We got you that news that this Sharan Gupta, this MP, was actually summoned to Delhi to meet with Venkaiah Naidu as well. Now, will he possibly step down from his post in this panel, or will he be forced to be removed? That's the big question now, isn't it?
Well, we are going to be tracking that story very closely. Also try and get your reaction, more reactions from the BJP, and also let's see if anyone